Hi everyone, welcome to part 2 of the build on this waste oil heater. I hope you enjoy the video. I'm continuing on the build of the actual burner. So in this video I pretty much finished the burner off, except for the oil supply that comes a bit later on. So I hope you enjoy the video and thanks for watching. That's the burner, there's the lid. That's the outlet, that's where the hot air comes out of the heat exchanger. That's the chimney. I had to put a hole in the roof. There's a video on that. There's a video on just about everything here. That's the blower, the air supply to the burner to keep the flame going. That's the tank that holds the oil, the waste oil. You can see the oil in there. So there's 2 tanks that hold oil that go down to the burner. And then there's your isolating valve, a regulating valve, and a sight glass to see the oil going through. And that's the blower that goes into the heat exchanger to blow the heat out the side. So yeah, this is just looking into the burner. It's not lit here. There's the inlet to the chimney, you can see it on the left. That's the lid. And then this is with the burner running. You can see she's burning and making good heat. And this was like after 10 minutes of running. Now we'll just go to the outlet and you'll see that's the fan blowing nice and strong, blowing beautiful warm air into the shed. So just continuing on here, this is part 2 of the series, and I'm continuing on the manufacture of the burner. So I hope you enjoyed the rest of this video. Well, that's it, it's cut. So what I've decided is I'm going to come in that way. So I'm going to have to block off this, block off that, and I'll just cut a hole in here. So that'll be reinforced and then the fumes will go out. There'll be a hole here for the chimney. So yeah, that's what I've got to do. So I've got to block these off now. Anyway, you'll see as I move along how it's all going to look. So for now, I've just welded that up. So you can see the weld. It's a pretty nice weld. I've actually got the machine finally where it needs to be. So happy days, moving along. Yeah, so just machining the hole for the chimney there. Starting to rain. All done. Well, now you can see what I'm talking about. So that's the opening that goes towards the inside of the burner, and that's going to be where the chimney goes. So that's going to go in here like that. So I've still got to make that flush because there's going to be a lid on here that's going to sit on top of this as well to seal the top. So I've still got to drop that a touch down, but that'll get all welded in there, and then the chimney will come up to take away all the burnt vaporized fumes. So yeah, it's getting there. So this is the next step, welding this in and making sure it's nice and square to the lid. And then I'm going to have the air tube going in and down. So that's the next job once this is welded in position. So it's getting there. I hope you're enjoying this video. If you are, think about subscribing. I mean, I do a few projects, but mainly it's about fly fishing and gold detecting. But this is something that I've always wanted to make. I've seen a few other guys make them on YouTube, and I thought, why not make one? So, like I said, if you're enjoying it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, make a comment. Let's get into it. Well, this is it, welded into position. So the burner is going to be, you know, burning inside this cylinder, and all the vaporized gases will be coming in through this hole here, and then there'll be a chimney coming up through there. So yeah, that's all welded in position, all welded up, you can see. So that's it, that's done. Now I'm going to start making the pipe that comes in for the air, so that we can burn this oil. That's next. So I'm drilling 3 holes here on the corner. This is to create the swirl inside the burner. So there's 3 holes, and then I'll do 3 holes on the bottom on the other side. So I want the air to go inside the burner and rotate, you know, it's got to rotate like that, so that it burns in a rotational fashion. Okay, now I'm going to call this the air supply tube for the burner. So what I've done is, you can see I've got like a slot in there, and I've slotted out this bit of channel. So that's going to go into the burner cylinder, and this is going to get welded onto here. And you see I've got some holes here. The air will go through this tube, it'll go through there, into that hole, and it'll blow air out these little holes. And I've put a slot in here, and you can see I've done the same on the other side. There's a slot with those same amount of holes. So what I want to do is I want to create like a swirl when the air goes through this and then out towards the outsides. As it comes out, it'll be swirling around that way, which will be clockwise when you're looking down. So that's what I'm trying to achieve. So that's that. The holes are 1/8. The slot is 1/8 as well. You can make it how you like, but I've left the holes small in case I need to open them up to create more air. So this is just for starters, and I'll just weld that in like that now, and that is going to go down to the bottom of that big gas cylinder that I've got that's going to be the burner. I hope that explains it. Let's keep going. Alright, so this is the burner tube, and I've also, on this tube that goes down into the burner, I've drilled holes as well. And if you notice, I've strategically drilled holes so that it's on the far side, on the right hand side, so that it promotes that swirl. So I've got holes here on the right hand side, I've got holes there, and holes there as well. So what that does, it continues with that swirl theme, and you can see the holes there, that slot that I did. So you've got to drill those holes there as well, which helps that rotating motion, the clockwise motion inside the burner. Today what I've done is I've worked on the air tube for the burner, and you can see the lid's on. It is the burner, and today I've been working on this, and I welded on that, and there's the outlet from the fan or the blower, and I've had to slowly remove metal off the bottom of air tube, just so that, put that in, just so that that is flush and that is flush with the top there. So when I put a lid on this, it's going to seal, you know. I'm not looking for a perfect seal, but I really want it as close as I can get it. At the same time, I'm touching the bottom of the burner here, and it's got to line up with the fan. So that's lined up beautifully. That's nice and flat. That's flat. I had to pack it up at the back here in order to get this to be square. So that's perfectly in line with the bottom of the burner here, where this other one sits in. So just to get it all nice and square, now I have to make a bracket, and you'll see I'll get a clip from Bunnings to clip this on, so that when I remove that air tube, it all comes out nice and easily. So yeah, you can see I drilled all these holes because that's where the blower is going to draw its air from. I had to put a packer in there. That's all mounted. You can see the screws, and then in here is where my blower is. So yeah, that's for the combustion. That's the combustion fan, and that blows through that hole there. I had to do a bit of a mod because it was a bit bigger. Welded that up, and then it goes in and then down. And after this, I have to mount the cylinders. Here I've got two like tanks that are going to hold the waste oil, and it's going to run down into the burner. So that's the next project. So it's coming along nice. So this is the last locator for the air tube. And I'll just pop rivet this on. There. Happy days. So that should locate onto the other tube that's coming out of the blower for the combustion fan. So let's see how it fits. So you can see I've put this clamp on. Just got that from Bunnings. Just a simple clamp. So I'll put the blower tube into there, slots into there. Should line up nicely. There we go. Put the clamp on. Happy days. Lines up, so that locks that in. And the reason I need that clamp there, and I need this to come out, when it does run, there will be some soot inside the burner. So I need to be able to unclip it, remove it, and then I'll just scrape out all the soot. So it's coming along good. So that's it for part 2. So if you want to see the whole build on this waste oil heater, just subscribe and set your notifications for when my videos come up. Leave a comment, give it a thumbs up if you're enjoying it, and once again, thanks for watching, and God bless. Bye.